Last of Us, episode 5. You know what it is. So, Last of Us, episode 5. This is probably one of the more emotional shows. I know I got a little emotional during this show for reasons that I will go into. Of course, there will be spoilers. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. So, this came out a little early Friday because of the Super Bowl, in which my Eagles took a big old L. So, story of Henry and Sam. Henry is trying to do everything that he can to save his little brother Sam, who is deaf, which is a break from the video game itself. In the game, Sam is not deaf. I like that they added that into the game, into the movie. Show. I liked it because it made him more reliant on Henry as far as how to get around, what to do, how he can't hear any of the dangers. And I think it's very obvious and clear that if you have kids, especially, little kids, you are. Henry meets Joel and Ellie at gunpoint. He's looking for a way out of the city just like they are. He's done some things to save his brother, and in saving his brother's life, he had to take another. You can kind of see that Henry is still young, and he's doing all he can to save and look out for his little brother. And I felt that, man. He is just doing whatever, and he has to put on a brave face for this kid. So they all kind of get together, and they all start moving. And I gotta say right off the bat, Ellie's still loud. She is still loud. And tell me it wasn't one of you, when they walked in them tunnels, her and Henry sitting there having this conversation. He talking about how good his plan is. You don't shut your ass. And then again, when they got into the room, they wanted to sit there and play kickball. Stephanie is the big baddie in this one. She is the sister of the brother that Henry killed to save Sam's life. It's a pretty remarkable situation to be in. To sacrifice one good person to save a child. That's tough, to have to make that decision. Not just any child, but your brother. So let me know in the comment section what you would do. It sounds like it's a pretty easy decision to save someone you love, but could you do it? So then we make it out of the tunnels, and we are taking fire from a sniper up in a tower. While we're taking fire up in the tower, this is probably one of my favorite parts in the game as well. It was set up perfectly, and it gives you that eerie feeling, like, are we going to get out of this? Which is the same feeling I felt in the tunnels, especially in the tunnels. But as we are starting to fight back against, things are starting to go south as far as the good guys, and the resistance is starting to win. One of the LMTVs, or military trucks, that is starting to fall through the surface, and you start to hear the pitter patter of a horde, an entire horde of just death coming your way. And it popped up out of that hole. Runners, clickers, and finally we get our first look at a bloater. Just all armored up and ready to just murder anything that gets in its way. I like the metaphor of the monsters being in the basement. I thought that was a fantastic hint, especially in episode 4 when they showed the monsters starting to break through the floor in the basement. I liked how everyone had to scramble when they came out of the ground. If I had one thing to say about this episode, and it's nothing bad, it's just saying it's something I noticed. That Joel, when he had that rifle, he needed like 5 or 6 shots. I can't remember exactly how many it was. He needed 5 or 6 shots to take out the driver of that truck. But when Ellie was on foot, just running all zigzag, Okay? He all of a sudden became the best sniper that ever lived. And then we get to the meat and potatoes of this show, and the emotion starts to come out. Even though you've played the game and you understand that it's, where the show is headed, the emotion that is conveyed in the game is there, but it is a little bit more prevalent when you can see it in the eyes of a real child. The fear that he has, the fear that his older brother has for him, trying to keep him alive. And you feel for this little kid, Sam, and you just like, please don't let anything happen to him. But you know better, you know? Ellie's finally starting to connect with someone. Even Joel, even when he met Henry, had his feelings about someone like Henry who was a rat or had done some of the things he had done, but did not understand the situation that he had been placed in to have to accomplish, or why he had to accomplish some of the things that he did and took the route that he did. So Joel later on apologizes for making assumptions about his situation without understanding his situation. Then we get to the part where Ellie and Sam are having a conversation on the basically like a whiteboard or something like that, and he is explaining to her, that she basically doesn't seem to get rattled or scared no matter what comes their way, and he is expressing that he is afraid to be stuck in the body of one of those things and still be conscious, still have consciousness. And then he shows Ellie the bite, and that kind of messed me up a little bit, because to be this little boy, to have to go through everything that he had previously gone through, now to know that you're going to die. Even Ellie's struggling to try to keep him alive by cutting herself and praying or hoping that her blood, even without being synthesized, can be a cure for this little boy. I first of all, I'm crazy when it comes to movies and shows. If I see a part that is very well acted or has affected me emotionally, I will rewind it. I will rewind it, and I will rewind it until I'm satisfied, because the emotion conveyed by Ellie, by Sam, by Henry and Joel in those final minutes of that show were remarkable to me. You can feel for each one of those characters, and even after Henry has to be the one to end basically Sam's existence. He was already gone, but he had to end it himself. He did not want Joel to be the one to do it, and you can see that he cannot process that information by asking Joel, what have I done? And it's got to be so incredibly painful, and he cannot deal with it. And I think that is the part that got me most, because he just decided that his reason for going forward has just ended. So therefore, there's no reason for me to continue on. And thus the end of Henry and Sam. And wow, I'm starting to feel it right now, just trying to explain it, just remembering. And then the final dagger of Joel burying the two and Ellie leaving "I'm sorry" on the little pad that Sam had. I mean, this was very powerful. Even though they have a basically a script to follow, which is already very well done in this game. But like I said, the power in the facial expressions that Ellie is showing, the disappointment, and you can see that she is starting to like shut down as far as emotion. There are no tears from Ellie. You hear her gasp as Henry ends his life, and then it seems like there was a switch that kind of just turned off. she just turned it off, and she wrote "I'm sorry," put it on Sam's grave, and then said, "Let's go. Let's get out of here." I love this episode, and I thought it was fantastic. They're gonna have to work their ass off to beat this one. But yeah, that's my take on it. I thought it was fantastic. I want to hear what your take is. Did you love it as much as I did? And yeah, I love y'all, man. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I'll see y'all later. My son is tired of me saying chia because he thinks it's stupid. And he's 6. So I'm just going to say goodbye. Goodbye for now until I come up with something else. Bye for now.